Hello, VC. Welcome, everyone. This is a response to a greatest hits thread started by MGK Boston. He wanted us to show a baker's dozen of our favorite greatest hits or best ofs, because greatest hits don't get a lot of love here in the VC. So I thought this was a really good idea. I saw my friend Brian over at Embryonic Robot did his. So we're going to get started here with mine with a bang. And the greatest of all time, and Cassius Clay. Born in Louisville, Kentucky, he made this record, I Am the Greatest, in August of 1963, 6 months before he became heavyweight champion of the world and changed his name. Now, this record is spoken word. It is, instead of song numbers, it has round numbers. The first two rounds are I Am the Greatest and I Am the Double Greatest. Then when you flip it over, the first song on side two is With a Real Sonny Liston, Please Fall Down. Now, I thought this was just amazing, and the reason I wanted to show you this, friends, is because about the same time that Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali made this record, he gave this lighter to my grandfather. It says, "My thanks to you in every way from the next champ, Cassius Clay." Also has his picture on this side. My grandfather was an interesting fellow, let me tell you. And this is one of my prized possessions. From, of course, everybody knows Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. This record is actually attributed to being a very early version of rap and hip hop. Because everybody knows the way Muhammad spoke before a fight. He was rapping back in the 60s. Next up, how about Aerosmith's greatest hits? Very good listen on this one, of course. Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion. But he also got a couple of my favorites on here, which are Kings and Queens and Draw the Line. Aerosmith's greatest hits is an awesome listen. Of course, everybody loves Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way. I cut this out of the paper when I got to see Aerosmith. I've only seen him once. It says, and look at that. Aerosmith delivers an epic show, and they sure did that night. One of the best rock shows I've ever been to. I put this right up here with when I saw Van Halen on the 1980 Invasion tour. Aerosmith was just amazing that night. Next, we're going to the Babies, the first rock band that I ever saw live, the Babies. And their anthology is a very good record, friends. I recommend this to everybody. Songs like Isn't It Time, Back on My Feet Again, Every Time I Think of You. And my favorites are Head First and Midnight Rendezvous. They also do a cover of Money on here. The Babies anthology, a very good listen. Of course, John Waite was the lead singer of the Babies. He went on to huge solo success and had some hits with Bad English. Next up, it's the Beatles. 27 #1 hit singles. And this is one of the best, greatest hits of all time, in my opinion. The Beatles set the bar pretty darn high. I dig this record. I love this and love a couple of the newer releases. I really enjoy them. Next, we've got the best of Blondie. I dig this record. Look at that track list, friends. And Rapture is really Blondie was rapping long before a lot of other people were. I'll tell you that. If you've heard the song Rapture, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Blondie. I got to see her in 2010 with Cheap Trick. She was just amazing. Next, Cats in Space. I just discovered these guys, maybe a month or two ago. This is their greatest hits called Diamonds. They have 5 albums out, so they are well deserving of a greatest hits album. I know most folks aren't familiar with Cats in Space here yet, but they're huge in England, and we're going to bring them over here. This has, pull up the song, Silver and Gold, or Chasing Diamonds, or Thunder in the Night, Scars, Hologram Man, Chasing Diamonds, Cats in Space. One of my new, very favorite bands. Highly recommend Cats in Space. Of course, the Cars' greatest hits. Someone asked me just about a week ago, what's your favorite greatest hits album? And I said this one. That changes all the time, but I'm telling you, you cannot, everybody knows you can't go wrong with this greatest hits, friend. The Cars, this one's just loaded from top to bottom. Great, catchy songs. Great group of guys. Benjamin Orr, Ric Ocasek, gonna be missed. Next, Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits. I don't really have to say anything about that. Everybody knows Fleetwood Mac. Everybody knows all the hits. Then we're gonna go to Kiss, double platinum. I've also got Kiss World. The double platinum has always been my favorite Kiss compilation. I bought this, not this copy, but I had this when it came out in 1977. Probably the first best of or greatest hits I ever bought. And the track list on this, fantastic. And as a young boy, about what was I, 15 then? Just loved this cover and this gatefold. Kiss, double platinum. You can never go wrong with that one. That brings us to Jimi Hendrix's greatest hits. This is an awesome compilation. I got this recently, very affordably, about $23. It has all of Jimmy's best stuff on it. The Wind Cries Mary, Purple Haze, All Along the Watchtower, of course his cover of a Bob Dylan song. What I love about this is it quality sounding, and it came in these quality inner sleeves for like $22. Get all of Jimi Hendrix's hits, and it sounds fantastic. That brings us to Whitney Houston. What can I say? I know I get a lot of grief in the vinyl community, but Whitney's voice is amazing. And her list of hits is really undeniable. The Greatest Love of All. So many great songs in here. I get excited. I want to dance with somebody. And this record was done, this packaging and release, in my opinion, was done just first rate by their estate. It comes on a purple vinyl, which looks fantastic. Next, we got the best of Judas Priest. I've also got Hero Hero and 50 Years of Heavy Metal that they just released. This is their best of, back when they were still calling him Bob Halford. And this is an early one, kind of like their first record. I got this early. This is on that really cool Attic label. And that brings us to Crystal Visions, the very best of Stevie Nicks. I love this record. Sorcerer, Planets of the Universe. She does Dreams, a rocked up version of Dreams on here. This is one of my very favorite records, friends. The best of Stevie Nicks, Crystal Visions. She's out on tour this summer with Billy Joel. She's coming up here to the Twin Cities. That would be fun to see. Now, last but not least, that brings us to Alan Parsons Project. Greatest Hits, Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Alan Parsons has more hits than you're aware of, friends. More fantastic songs than you're aware of. I love listening to Alan Parsons now. Turn of a Friendly Card is my favorite Alan Parsons record. The thing with Alan Parsons, a few of his records are spotty, in my opinion. So what you want to do is get the greatest hits. This is Volume 1, Games People Play, Time, Wouldn't Want to Be Like You, and that's Volume 2. Both well worth having and great listens. Well, as always, friends, I want to say thank you to everyone who takes the time to watch my videos. And to all of you who subscribe, like, and comment. You're the greatest.